What is up, everybody? RexEncholada here, and today I have another OU battle here. This is with my my Slow King Vaporeon team, and this guy's name is Master O Monotype, and he is indeed using a Monotype team, as you can see from the team preview. So anyway, my opponent is using a Mono Water team, and the only thing on my team that really has electric type moves is Needle Queen, which is, wouldn't you know, weak to water, so it can't take on this whole team, and Vaporeon, which tends to get burned by Scald a lot, so that's not even reliable. So pretty much I'm just going to have to overpower this team with my Choice Scarf Reckless Mienshao and my Swords Dance Sizzler, and that's pretty much all I can hope for, and tank hits with Slow King to 4 switches, because if I get my rocks up and I 4 switches, then he's going to be taking residual damage, which is always good. But I feel like that has been enough talking. I don't know how long it was, but I feel like it was long enough. So without any further ado, let's get into this battle, shall we? So yeah, I decided to leave with my Needle Queen, pretty much knowing that he was going to leave with his Polytoad, knowing I could take a Scald. But chickening out at the last moment, I decided that I wanted to switch out to my Slow King, and I do take the Scald, but I do get burned, which is very unfortunate, because now it's going to force me to slack off or switch out more to stay at a healthy amount of HP. So here he decides to switch out to his Vaporeon, and this thing is in the rain, so it's automatically hydration. And I hit it with a Toxic, but since it is a hydration Vaporeon, it does not, the Toxic doesn't stay, it just gets healed at the end of the turn, which is this thing that's been in my existence. I hate it, I just flat out hate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to my Vaporeon as he curses to make sure he can live physical hits. I'm just going to go for Elite Seed, but he decides that he wants to go out to his Keldeo. Now, I normally would stay in or just to see what he wants to do, but I have a especially defensive tank, so I'm just going to go out to that. I'm going to switch out to my Slow King, and he's going to go for a Secret Sword, and that does nothing, but at the same time it does a lot, because that does a resisted hit, and it did 30%, but it is hitting on the physical side, and the Slow King has no physical investment, but still, that's a lot. So he's going to switch out his Keldeo, and here I'm going to go out to my Vaporeon, predicting his switch to his Vaporeon, and then here he's going to make a double switch and go out to Polytoad. I'm just going to go for Elite Seed because that is the only effective way I can wear this thing down. I'm going to Elite Seed it to a point where I think that Power Whip will be able to take it out, and then I'm just going to go for the Power Whip. So what I do is I Elite Seed, and then he switches out to his Keldeo, and I go out to my Needle Queen, and he decides that he wants to go for a sub. So at this point it surprised me, because I had thought that he was, I just thought that he was Specs, because I mean it did so much to my Slow King, but I mean, it does hit on the physical side. I have no physical investment, and I leave my Needle Queen in to take a Scald because I don't want this thing ending out behind this sub, and Needle Queen wasn't really going to help this battle anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in my Mienshao and just go for a high jump kick, knowing that nothing really wants to take it outside of maybe Gyarados and Polytoad if it's defensive, but since he did not bring it in, it leads me to believe that it is not defensive. So I'm going to go out to my Vaporeon and wall this thing unless he gets a burn on me, which he does. So I mean, you can't really count on Vaporeon to counter a rain team or a mono water team when they have Scald and decide that they want to rain. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to Elite Seed, and here he goes out to his Haley's Rage, this Gyarados, and pretty much I know I can take hits from this Gyarados, but then I also know that I can't take enough to live forever. I know it will be doing some damage, so what I'm going to do is go out to my Gliscor, but he goes out to his Keldeo, and now when it's to take an HP Ice or an Icy Wind, I'm just going to decide to make a double switch out to my Slow King. And on the turn that I brought in my Gliscor, I did get my my Toxic Orb up, and here going for the Surf, he shows me that he does not have the HP Ice, so I mean that doesn't really affect anything, but at least it's nice to know, I guess. So here he goes out to his Vaporeon. What I'm going to do is just go for a Side Shock, knowing that it was going to come in and wanting to hit it on the defensive side, and it still does not do nearly anything. So I'm just going to switch out to my Vaporeon to Elite Seed something, as he goes for a Body Slam, which is actually better for me than it is for him, because I get right back up for lefties, and he goes down another 13%. So that's all good because of Iron Barbs and stuff. Well, 12% because of Iron Barbs. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go for another Elite Seed. Actually, no, I switch out to my Mienshao. Okay, that makes sense. I'm going to switch out to my Choice Scarf Mienshao, and I'm just going to go for the U-turn just because I've seen Polytoad with Protect, and I don't want to keep going and crash and lose 50%. So I'm just going to make the safe play here, go for the U-turn. I am going to bring in my Slow King and go for the take the Scald rather than not go for anything. I'm going to come into my Slow King, take the Scald, and then I'm going to switch back out to my Vaporeon. and pretty much my whole game plan is just to wear his team down, but I first need to get up hazards. So as I switch out to my Ferrathorn, he goes for the Hypnosis. I dodge that because I am burned. And he's just going to go again out to his Gyarados. I'm just going to go for a Leech Seed. I knew his Gyarados was going to come in, but even if it didn't, it was just a safe way to go for Leech Seed because his Politoed does not have Focus Blast. Otherwise, he would have used it already because this is turn 22. So yeah. So on the Gyarados switch, I'm going to go for the Stealth Rock, and now Gyarados takes 25% from entering, which means that it will not be able to, do enough shenanigans. So yeah, that's good. So he's gonna Encore me into Stealth Rocks. I mean, I don't really mind because it's obvious what he's gonna switch into. So on this turn, as he switches into his Keldeo, I'm going to predict that switch, and I'm going to go out to my Slowking, and now I'm just going to sit here because Keldeo cannot touch me. So here I kind of make a kind of a bad play. Well, not really bad play, but I mean, he goes for the Surf, and I know that he's Life Orb now, so what I should have done is just slacked off. But I instead go for the Side Shot, just take it out immediately. I mean, if I would have slacked off, then I would have gotten a free turn because, as you will see, he's going to bring in his Gyarados here. And what I'm going to do is slack off this turn, hoping that he decides to go for the Dragon Dance, which he does. Which, I mean, it's kind of bad because he's at +1, but I do have a Scarfed Mienshao who can pretty much take it out from that range with the high jump kick. I'm guessing, I'm hoping, because it is Scarf Reckless. So I am going to stay in another turn, hoping I can live a Waterfall, knowing I can live an Earthquake. I am just going to go for the Toxic here to wear this thing down. And now I'm just going to switch out, get some Regenerator, and go out to Ferrathorn. But instead, he goes for the Stone Edge. And predicting my Gliscor switch, I guess, or just predicting, I don't know. I'm going to say he predicted my Gliscor switch, because why else would he go for Stone Edge? But he does kill off my Ferrathorn, but it doesn't really matter anymore, because next turn I will be able to take it out with a U-turn. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to U-turn out on the Gyarados, and I'm going to go into my my Slowking, because this thing is what I go into. His team can't touch it. So an RU boat, just walling everything in OU, that's pretty good. So here he's going to go out to his Harlem Shake, his Rotom Wash, and here he gets a very well needed crit for him, because I had more, if he was Zap Plate was the only way I was not living that, and even if he was Zap Plate, then I would still, it does like 46 to 60%, so I still had a high chance of living that. So go out to my Gliscor thinking that he is Choice Specs, but he's not. Turns out to be, I don't know what item, because he can switch up moves. But I'm just going to let that die, and then I go into my Mienshao. I know I can take it out with a high jump kick because I am reckless, so I'm just going to power it up. So I'm going to take that out with a high jump kick. He's going to bring in his Gastro, it did 60% earlier, so I know I'm going to be able to take that out. And here in the chat, he's like, why don't you miss one? And then I go for high jump kick and I miss. So I mean, I get taken out with the Scald, which means that it is my Scizor versus Politoed and Vaporeon. And he has Vaporeon, so he can just stall me out. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the Bug Bite. I mean, at this point I pretty much have given up, and I'm just going to play the game out because there's only like 4 turns left anyway. So I mean, I figure I might as well play it out. And here he goes for the Parasong. So he's going to be that guy who's going to Parasong to win. I mean, he could have just went for another Scald, burned me. But I'm glad that he does not go for the Scald, because I would have gotten burned and I would have not been able to touch this at all. So here is something interesting. He's going to go for the rest here, that's not the interesting part. And I'm going to go second. I'm just going to assume I'm slower because I'm a Scizor and that thing's a Vaporeon. It should be fast, right? Well, it turns out that Scizor and Vaporeon both have base 60 speed. And here I win the speed tie because neither one of us have speed investment. And I take out this wall with the Bug Bite. So that will be the narrow 1-0 victory in my favor. If he would have stalled me out for 2 more turns, I would have been angry and he would have won. And yeah, shenanigans, I guess. But I do not like Hydration Vaporeon. I hate it. I mean, just plain and simple, I hate it. I don't like stall. I just find it, I don't feel that stall is the way to play Pokemon. But anyway, that's just a little bit about me. Thanks for watching this battle/video, or this battle video, I guess. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, I guess. I do have a Twitter, so follow that. I am going to be plugging that in most of my videos now, because you can stay updated that way, and I can talk to you guys. So yeah, that's cool. And yeah, thanks for watching, which I've said like 3 times already. I really need to get a standard outro to go with. But anyway, remember, you are a rose in a field of daisies. Deuces.